Peace and love, peace and love. I was sitting back thinking, as I do quite often, and just pondering some things. But you know how they say the now is a present. It's the present, and a present is a gift, and it's a gift to be here in the present. But I'm going somewhere with this. Just follow me. I was thinking the way the world operates and the systems that of how it operates and how it's set up to kind of take your attention and how it's all based kind of on status and et cetera, and not that I'm ignoring the good things because it is some good things, but just bear with me. I was thinking if I gave that gift, that present, being in the spirit of the holidays, no, if I gave that present to my great grandchild, what kind of gift would that be? How would he receive it? And of course, I'm referring to grandchildren all across the globe. And I'm speaking to the generation 1981, as I was saying, Kyrie had mentioned, 1981 to 1996. And that just rung such a bell, not because it's Kyrie Irving. I don't get caught up in all that. It's because it rung. Truth is truth. And that rung and hit a bell with me. That particular generation, my generation. Do you ever think of the gift that we're going to leave behind? Now, I gave that analogy of it because you're probably thinking, like, man, that is something that makes you think. But we do got to do better. We do have to try to, even if we just got to start right where from our own homes where we are. But it's another way to look at that as well. Just whether you with the Bible or not, just bear with me. Adam, when Adam and Eve, born out the rib, said Adam had control of the fowl of the air, paraphrase, but Adam had control over everything. And he worked, he had dominion over everything, but he was still lonely and bored. And then came Eve afterward. And if you really look at this, just bear with me, look at this story. If Eve, as Eve came in, my husband got control over everything. She has dominion over everything. I'm in paradise. I didn't have to earn it at all. This was just given to me. This is, I be just, what, could you imagine that? Like, just try to fathom it. So, when you think about it like that, and when you think about our ancestors and how they had dominion over everything, do you think being here at some point or some generation where they were going to devalue it because they didn't have to work for it? And once you kind of devalue something and don't quite appreciate it, it's going to be people who didn't have the same breaks as you, who don't have the same finances and belongings as you, and they're going to be hungry. And then when you're hungry, you strategize. Become very strategic and very methodical. And over time, you just wait for the right moment. before you take over. And then you learn from the people you took it from. Saying all of that to say this, we have quite the task. 1981, 1996. I mean, we all in this. I'm just saying. I'm speaking. I really want that part. Because that's part of me. That's my generation. You know, I really want y'all to listen up. If you listening to this, we could look at it as an opportunity to not just to take back what's ours, rightfully ours, but to understand and comprehend, maybe, just maybe, it was only taken because we didn't know how to appreciate it. You ever hear that analogy of a woman, well, one person doesn't appreciate, and that goes true too for man. Remember that, ladies. But when you don't appreciate something over time and it loses value to you, somebody else is watching, just waiting, because they see the value in it. But when you're given something, anybody with children of a certain age, you just give them something, they really don't appreciate it. They didn't have to work for it. Think about all the things you didn't have to work for. You really don't appreciate it like that. But imagine, just maybe, this is something to get you, hey, this is something that's going to raise your consciousness, whether you agree with it or not, because it's making you think, making you aware of some things you may have never thought about, therefore raising your consciousness. What if it was designed like that from the beginning? That all the heartache, all the pain, all the suffering, the agony. Now, some may say that's not the kind of God or source I serve that operates like that. And I say to that person, really sit down and ponder, meditate. I have a very deep relation. Sometimes your thoughts might not be conscious. You thinking in 3D. Let's put it that way. Not to mumble. In 3D. Some 2D. I'm talking 5D. Where the plan is already, where I'm talking chess. We already know how this is going. I'm already steps and steps ahead. Game actually already won in my head. Looking at it from another level. Not saying whether it's true, false, or in the middle. Literally just making you ponder and think for yourself. To come up with your own conclusions, or go in your prayer closet, or go within and see what conclusions you come up with. But just what if it was designed like that? So we can appreciate. And I'm not talking about, hey, money is beautiful. Beautiful. And I want as much to flow to me as possible. But I'm not talking about Fetty right now. I'm not talking about paper. I'm talking about the land. The land. The spiritual significance. The soul significance of the land. The meaning of it and how to truly appreciate it. And once you battle for something, once you go to war for something, and you go to war with people that you get closer, you build true bonds, and they become true brothers and sisters. That's something, that's a lineage that you can pass on for so many generations. But even bigger than that, the fact that you know, because everything you fought for, the fact that you know it could be taken at any moment. You don't get too cocky. You don't get cruel. You don't treat someone a certain way because of their color, their creed, or their beliefs. There's something that's built from the creators, the creator. They're part of us as well. And to do a human like that, because of you were desensitized. Once you pass this on, you can show your lineage. You can show how you cannot, under any circumstances, let that happen. How the former did it. And not in judgment, but in unconditional love. It's the only way it's going to hold up. And that's the only way it can be won back. It's literally spirit and truth. Whether you're with the Bible or not, that's service. We're servants. All here to serve a certain purpose. Our job is to see what roles and what purposes it is that can fit this collective to get the job done. And at the same time, not losing the intangibles. I think it was a point where our ancestors may have dropped the ball where the tangibles became more important than the intangibles. And they start caring a little more about outside things. Reverence and slaves and how to monetize people and possessions than the person that created them. I think over time, that bond got lost. So what does that tell us? We can never let our generations forget about who created them, and that is the most important. Who created you, what you are, and what you're here to do cannot be lost, cannot be devalued. And when you value yourself, when you value your creator, your creators, when you value yourself, everything else falls in place. The intangibles. And I'm so sure it's going to be plenty more that's going to be learned along the way of this journey. But that's what it is. It's a journey. I have a show I call Preparation for Purpose, because people want destination addiction, but it's the preparation, like a boxer. It's the preparation that prepares you for that fight. And the preparation is the longest. That's what takes so long. But it can be enjoyable. It can be enjoyable. Think about meeting new people along the way, building bonds, meeting people you never, that you didn't even know existed, that have so many different, so many similar likes as you do. Could be millions of miles away. And you could meet people and it seemed like you've known them your whole life. And that, I always say, technology is like similar to food. It could kill you or it could heal you. So yeah, you can get on technology and just waste, just be a waste. Waste your whole days and weeks away. Or you can use it to collaborate and build. You see people from, like I said, millions of miles away that may sound different, might look a little different. But in here, you like, it's something about that person. I don't know what it is, but it's something about that person. You know, I made it a point not to ramble in any of my other videos, but I don't feel led to get off at this particular time. I'm waiting on something else to pop, as crazy as that might sound. Boom. Self. To reiterate the importance of self. Self-love, instilling in our children the importance of genuinely loving themselves. Because when you genuinely love yourself, there's things you're just not gonna take. And I don't put my head down. No, I know that from experience, because there's things that I did take in relationships, jobs, and other places, because and I'm still learning as every day, but I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was. Know thyself. It's almost cliche now, as much as you hear it, but the importance of it, not just hearing it. Remember, take off, if you do 2 ears, just kind of make an ear on a piece of paper and then put your other ear next to it. It's gonna form a heart. It's gonna form a heart. That's hearing. That's really hearing and feeling it. You feel me? Now I said, you feel me? To feel and vibrate with what someone is saying. The importance of knowing yourself. And when you seek to learn about yourself more and more daily, it's going to happen. It's going to, it has to. That's our superpower. That's our superpower. Discovery itself leads you to so many different characteristics about humanity as a whole that you never knew you even had. Like I said, grew up completely elsewhere, but similar here. People who might not even talk English. When you learn about within, like I say, not just thinking 2D or 3D, you rise in consciousness, and it's a feeling. You don't even have to say a word sometimes. And you just see how you can vibe with people and correlate with them. Love.